Underdog Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today, just like any other day, I have successful underdog, Mr. Kevin Brown II. Yes, sir. You want to go by Junior?
Nah, yeah, definitely the same.
Second. Yeah, no problem. The funny thing is, and I'm going to use that as a fun fact. Yeah, I'm going to do that as a fun fact. So, as I ask anybody, fun fact.
Fun fact about me, man, I love music. I'm a big music fan. Being an athlete, we always got our radios on all the time. So, I grew up listening to everything from, Maxwell, Eric Badu to, Boosie, Gucci. You know what I mean? Like, my spectrum is kind of wide ranging. Everything from like, one of the few people that don't really vibe with instruments. I love jazz. I listen to some salsa, reggae. I'm all over this.
I'm the same way. I love music. I've always loved music. Country, that's probably the only one that I don't know anybody. I don't know nothing about it, but I do know that there's more black country artists nowadays. But then I think Beyonce just dropped a country song. So I don't know. But yeah, I love music. So, who's your top two favorite artists that you listen to throughout the week?
I listen to Miles Davis a lot. Listen to jazz. Miles Davis. And I would say just probably, it's probably if I'd probably say who I listen to the most. I'll probably have to say, and that's only because of the production. Like that's what I'm saying. For me, music is kind of lyrics. I love lyricists too, like their bars. But I love like the sound production, instruments.
I actually just was listening to him. First I tried his new album. I don't know.
I still haven't heard it.
I listened to it. It was alright. And then I went to college dropout. I think I was working because I'm working on a book. So I put that on and I'm just sitting there typing. But yeah, Kanye, I would say for me, I haven't been on music much late, like in the last few weeks, but I would say I'm going to listen to some Lil Baby. Then it just depends on the mood. Some mornings I'm gospel, some mornings I'm this, so it just depends. I know I'm a person. So my fun fact is I never went by Eric Jones Jr. until maybe a few years ago. Just Eric Jones. Just Eric Jones. I never put the junior behind it. I think somebody like, oh, you're a junior, and they just said it, and I was like, it sound cool. I would say the reason my biological dad, I didn't really know him that way when I was 4. So I never really got the grasp of the legacy of our name. And as I got older, I found out more about him. It's like I really didn't like him. Like I wouldn't have thought. I don't know if I would have liked, I don't know what it would have been like, but from me, knowing me, and then some of the stuff that I heard, I was like, just something I didn't rock with. But then I think, because I wanted my son to be Eric Jones III, but his mom, she wanted it. But that's when I started to really look at it. I could have another lead, and he could be the third. But it didn't happen that way. But my son looks and acts exactly like me. I love it, man. He definitely is. Yeah. Yeah. And he acted, oh my goodness, he acted just like me. So, we was with my friend after she got her son is like my size. But he only like 10, maybe 11. So, yeah, like, it's a big boy. So, him and my son, they roasted. And the little boy was like, yo, mama. My son was like, what you got to say? You say something about my mama? And he was like, I dare you to say something. I ain't thinking my son about to do nothing. Little boy said the mama joke. It wasn't that crazy, but he said it. My son stole it. Yeah. And I was like, and his mom was like, hey, you shouldn't be talking about people's mom. son got a big hair on his lip. I was like, oh snap, okay, you got little hands, okay, and you ain't scared of nobody. So I was a proud dad at that moment. But my sister was like, tell him don't be good big folks. Yeah.
I understand kids, they gonna react based on
yes. Mama
right,
like, yeah.
Unless somebody putting their hands on certain things, there's certain things like even internally, you have to like, okay, what's the threshold? Like, I'm willing to chill, but what's that line? Somebody cross. You gotta do it.
And it's crazy because being an adult and like watching him like out in the situations he reacted and done stuff, I remember that. So now as an adult in control attitude and being smart, it's like I might not should have done that. Cause I'd be in situations as an adult and just breathe, walk away because it's not worth it. Like I don't think kids don't realize that they just go and take that. But yeah, as an adult you gotta realize every situation ain't it. So even the situations where it calls you to put hands and feet on somebody, it's not worth it because you gotta think of the big picture. That hurts sometimes.
Which is that point. Like I said, alright, I got more to lose than this person. That's probably what it is.
Yep.
The situation where you got two people in that. That's a lot of issues that we know this is like I mean across the world, but like anybody kids the moment they went all type of emotions process. You know what I'm saying? I go that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, but no, you right.
That's a preliminary conversation. Yeah. My mom is always some kind of good people, a lot of great things that are kind of helping our kids to find that they have their decision themselves. It's just hard, man. It's hard, man. Too many kids, not enough people with that heart and the time to be able to dedicate to make sure that this is developed. I don't think the teachers are necessarily. First of all, they don't get paid to teach and like help mold the kids with that holistic underview process to contribute to members of society, especially in foreigners. And it ain't even just inner city now, though. It's really just kids that may not have this home situation. It's toxic. The wrong crowd. Somebody showed them that love attention. It's the wrong people that are going to do the wrong things. So
yeah, you right on point. So I went to I was part of Voices Unite with New Boy interview, and they had kids talking. And one of the kids was like, "Safe place is the street because my home wasn't a safe place." And when he said that, it hit home because that's really true. That's how kids look at it. Because I had a mentor program, and all the kids they going straight when they in the program, but at least 2 or 3 of them went to jail afterward. Like COVID hit, at least I stopped the program, but just them not having that time to come with me or being in the program, they done some stupid stuff. One of them locked up for murder. The other one done some stupid stuff. Like they done some stupid stuff. But to what you were saying, it's a lot of people that doing it, but everybody don't have that heart. Some people just doing it to say that they doing it or had a big name. Or let's go collect all the good players in the sports and go say we the talk of the town. But nobody's helping develop kids and actually being there. And like, hey, you can call me when you need me. If you need something, call me. Like, don't go do something stupid. And I think that's what separates why nobody wants to work together. Because you have egos. It's like, we all here for the kids. Let's put something together. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people, of course, it's the people that work a job, got a family, ain't making no money, and you see them out there every day with your kids. And then you want to yell and scream at the coach. We volunteering our time, we missing our son's game, we doing all this stuff, but y'all want to yell at us. Maybe if you was a better parent, that's good. So, speaking of sports, you play sports, made it professionally. How was it as a kid? What did your life look like? Because I think sometimes kids think that they just gotta. It's all. Was it all sports? Was you able to be a kid? Like, how was your childhood growing up, working your way up to be a professional athlete?
Yeah, my childhood, man, it was a pretty, I would say, unique situation, bro. Like, being on the east side with both my parents actually working in the township that I was going to school. So not only were they, did everybody pretty much know who I was in elementary school, but at home, my mom's an English teacher. She was an English teacher after over 20 years. So she was, teaching me things, at an earlier time in my life, introduced me to different concepts of thinking that I think it just kind of put me in there with her. Some people just kind of think I was a lot smarter than I actually was, bro. When it really was my parents just kind of like coached me up, because they wanted, I think they had a vision for my life. I think it goes back to the same. God had higher power. They had this whole thing kind of shaped out for me. And I was just kind of able to walk through that. It's been like something I couldn't even explain on a podcast, man. There's so many times where, people just showed up in my life that I had no intention. It wasn't like I'm intentionally reaching out to this person or intentionally trying to get this person. Just things would just happen, bro. And people were put in my life that were able to guide me directly to that point where I was able to climb the ladder all the way up to point low. Like my childhood, like I said, like I really definitely was well rounded. Not only was I had two parents that were also teachers, they made sure like education was on the foundation. And by fourth grade, I wanted to be a biomedical engineer, and I was going to go to university. So that's just an example of, most kids. I asked a kid the other day, a third grader, what do you want to do? She said she doesn't know. She wants to be a teacher. So like, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't necessarily have masters or something like elementary school. There was no such thing as a master's. That was not a thing. We still going outside. I'm still going to the wild with my boys. And I'm playing like your son. Like I'm in the AU leagues and I'm just having fun, going to birthday parties, being around the kids. And I didn't have a lot of the stresses that I know exists in a lot of homes, a lot of kids, man. And I think that was something that I learned more when I got to high school and college. When you meet other kids, I'm playing ball with other kids, and I said, like not everybody's situation is the same. And we still end up in the same room, in the same position. So like that's when I saw like, dang, like I can't waste the opportunity. I always felt like I needed to lead by example because I knew everybody that kind of was able to get to the same point I was at. I think they had it a lot harder. We had I felt really blessed, even when I look back now, and I was thinking about there's a lot of times where, I didn't necessarily know exactly what the next step or next phase of my life would be. But like I said, people and circumstances always just happen to work out. I feel like I just tested the guy and my family. So yeah, bro, it was like I said, it was unique. And I know it just helped shape kind of my life.
That's crazy that we think unique is having two parents. It is. Like, that's how life is supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to have both your parents, you're supposed to live in a nice house. So for you to have that and then realize it at a kind of early on in life in high school, like, dang, buddy over there, he had on the same clothes the whole camp and stuff like that. And it really, that probably helped shape you more as you got older. Like, yeah, like I can't waste this. Like my parents put in a lot because having both your parents then for you to think that in fourth grade that you go, with college, you know what you want to do. It's kids that don't know what they want to do because all they worried about is the next meal that they
right
or whatever.
Exactly.
But I like that you said that you were still a kid because I had to. I have to as a parent like let my son be a kid even though it's kid. And I tell you the talent in elementary basketball is like how the hell can you do that? Like already, but they got trainers, they've been doing it. But it's like, man, I want my son to be a kid. Because basketball might not be for him. He might not be taught. Yeah, his mama ain't taught. He might not get taught. He might be professional, but he might not make it to the NBA. And so I don't want to push him to only, that's the only thing that you want to do. Whatever you want to do, let me know. We're going to put you in wherever to make, the best opportunity for you. And that's how parents are supposed to be. Like, 1 week, my daughter, I want to play soccer. Okay. I want to cheer. I want to do this. All right, listen, we're not about to keep hopping around. Pick something that you like, and this is what you're going to stick with. That's how life is. Like, you do jump in here and there, but I love that you said you were a kid, because a lot of kids don't realize that you can be a kid and still make it. Like, you're a kid. You have a lot of time to get to high school, college, and all that, but it's like some parents just stick, just train.
He was hard on me, but he was hard on me in ways that shaped me as a man. It just translated to sports. Yeah. So, when I remember, my freshman year, when I graduated high school early, spring ball with the team, and, I'm nervous. I'm out there, I'm a 17-year-old kid here on college campus. I've only been playing for about 2 years, and I'm really like not necessarily fully confident in my skills to play. Coaches in my face screaming, and I remember like I wasn't phased, and I remember he thought that I was so, I don't know, like I didn't necessarily. I think he was just trying to fill out different ways to play with my coaches. Yeah, my dad is a very, I don't know why, he's a very abrasive guy, and so like, and he's a big guy too. Like, so I'm like, that is a little white guy, like like there's nothing you can say to me. Like that's about to get me out of character. I hear what you're saying. My dad always told me. I literally just told one of our residents, one of our properties the other day. She was just voicing a lot of her concerns. She was like, man, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I said, man, my dad taught me to listen to what's being said, not how it's being said. Because you caught up in the tone, all the emotion and the passion behind it, and miss the message. Listen to what's being said. Process information, but listen. I think that was just a skill that I was able to combine with both my mom and my dad, just being able to listen, to understand, and not be reactive to just my process. I had to learn that that was something black emotions and all that. That was something that definitely evolved in my later adult years, 2016, 17, 8. But definitely being able to listen and take coaching. I think that's why a lot of coaches gravitate to it. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the greatest athlete ever, but I was coachable, and I was always going to learn. And that's even translated from sports to my career now.
Yeah, that's very important to be coachable. My son, Lord have mercy, that boy, his attitude, like he's so passionate, he doesn't know how to channel it yet. And so I'm definitely, I didn't got in his face, I didn't chew him out, but I also been there, gave him a hug, and been there when he lost, crying or whatever, and gave him those lessons. I think that's the kind of dad I am. I give him lessons that you can take with you down the road. You might not understand it then in that moment, but you'll understand. Like when my daughter called me randomly and started asking me about entrepreneur stuff, just different stuff, and her saying I was listening to what you were saying. That as a dad, that means the world that your kids are listening. Because like your dad, like you don't want to. I'm not helping you right now. This ain't for when you 9 and 10. This is for when you 18, 20, and you in life. Because I remember watching Shoot Happy, went to the movies, and I teared up, and I called my mom, and I was like, I understand. I understand all like life, and then being a parent and like going through stuff. Like you understand what your parents was trying to show you, and a lot of kids don't. They don't get that right away. They get it down the road or later. But those kids that do get it, like yourself, those are the ones that get on the team. He's like, how they on the team? Because they listen. I told them to do the drills like me in the game. They doing the drills like me in the game. You walking up because you think you better. That's why you on the bench, and that's why they playing. So and that's how it is in life. Like if you're not teachable or coachable in life, you're not gonna make it. And somebody's gonna have to show you how you to get to that next level. If you ain't listening, if you think you know it all, you're gonna stay at that same level. So I love that.
Unless you're
yeah.
Right now, they will move on from you. So unless you're not the guy, I mean the guy, 4-star.
Yeah.
Even 4-star, I mean, I'm talking about the guy, like a freak, like we've never seen. As soon as they step foot on campus or at school, you like, oh no, he's gotta play.
Yeah.
He's gotta see what's going on.
Yeah.
If they have issues, they'll work with them.
Yeah.
And you have to coach. Yeah. Like that's something that's a skill that always have. I don't care who you are. I think my brother played at Michigan State, and I know for a fact that the times kids that looked at him, told him, no, that it's supposed to be this way. I'm like, how you gonna tell him? He did it. What is like what?
Yeah.
It's just a different. I won't even say it's a different generation. It is a different generation, but that's no excuse, man. Yeah. Like anytime we had anybody, I remember we used to be in the wild together. Christian, I can't remember his last name, but Hawkins, but dude was a beast, man. Anytime we could play against him, anytime we saw the kind of tips to anything he'd be willing to share with us, like we always would enjoy that information. And he liked the sport. And, it just helped. I always remember, those conversations. Direction. It helps you when you get to that stage. And I remember, like you said, that things may not necessarily register like with all the problems now. Like I remember being 21, when I first moved off campus. I had my first apartment. Calling my dad in the middle of the night, thanking him for beating my butt, man, whooping me all the times where I thought, I knew what I was talking about, and he was like, nah, I gotta humble you. Yeah, and I thanked him, man, and it was like a real moment that I still bring up when we have conversations today. Like, I know you remember when I called you that one time the other night, just thank you for all the times that you beat me, all the times that you got my, got in me, and you held me accountable. Dude, like this. I see, and people tell me like that you were raised with, and that just speaks volumes. And that's all I want to do. Yeah, that's them. Man. I'm literally a product of those two. They were awesome. I wouldn't be half the man I am. Yeah,
I can tell by just smiling and all that. And I, as a parent, like when somebody tell me, "Hey, your son is well married, he can come back." That's like, as a parent, woo! Listen, I know my man. I know him, and I be like, when he go to school, and the teachers, I seen his teacher at one of his games, and she was, oh, he's doing good. And I'm like, you sure? That kid. But he knows how to act in public because he taught him, I told him, like, you're a representation of us. When you go outside, like, don't go out here climbing. Like, don't do it. Like, at school, he probably get in a little trouble, but I haven't ever been called to a school ever. The only time I went to a school, his mom so happened to get a call, and I so happened to be around her at the time. Went up there, and I ain't never had to go back because he understands. Like, I'm not gonna play with you. Like, I give you your little chances, and I say, hey, that's your last one. No, next time I'm swinging. I'm not talking like that. I'm on the head, right? Yeah, because I think I had a dad. So my biological dad passed when I was 4, and then my sister's dad has been my dad, but he was an old school dad. Word, just managed the house, and then my mom got divorced, so it was me, my mom, and my sister. And not having that male influence to kind of show you those things and tell you when you're wrong and how to react is important. So shout out to your dad, because dads are very important for young men, because as a man, you can show you how to be a man. Like, it's gonna, some of the stuff your dad be like, man, what is you talking about? Like, why are you? But you understand it as the road goes on. So I love that you had both your parents and they showed you the right way. So you how many siblings you got?
I got a little sister.
You got a sister. Okay, so you got a brother and a sister?
Nah, little sister.
Just a little sister. When she came back, how was that relationship?
So that was a unique relationship too, man. She was, little sister. Your sister older, she younger. Yeah, I know. She was just, she loved me. She still loved me. Looked up to me. We had conversation now. It's laugh about it now. But then growing up, she was the one. She just was so clingy, and she wanted to do everything I did. She was like my shadow. And, being an older brother, like, I hated that. I didn't want her around my friends. I didn't want her, and I sound like an asshole now, but I mean, she was just so irritated. And I just remember always just like looking at her. just so.
How much older are y'all? Oh, okay, so y'all about the same as me and my sister. Yeah, bruh, it was always Eric and me. We had to go everywhere together. Like, I was tired of that, and then when I got to where I was older, I was in high school. I think she might have been a little younger. And she always wanted to know, you can't go. This is high school time. But one thing I do remember, we used to fight, and I used to whoop her. I used to whoop my sister's tail, but she could whoop anybody else, and I think she didn't get it. I was helping her so she would be able to know how to fight because we're little, we're short people. My sister is shorter than me, but try her if you want to. Try her if you want to. It's not gonna go the way you think it, but I remember though that annoying is like she'd get on the phone. See people on I had a house phone. She'd get on the other line, be messing with the car. Man, when I got to college and I come back home, I'd be on the phone talking to her. I'd do the same. She used to hate it because her friends were like, "Oh, your brother did it." Like, yeah, how you doing? She used to hate it, but it was like
so many times where I remember like this. Like I remember one time, like I was on a computer, got up, left, came back, of course. I think I went to the bathroom, so I came back. She said, brought me out there, but I was on the computer. So I basically like just throw her out the chair. She starts crying, calling me bad. It was on 10 immediately. He was like, wait, I'll see you when I get home. I'm like, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. And she laughed and like, are you about to get trouble with him? It was just that type of relationship. I love him. That's my dog. Yeah, she ended up going to Kentucky on a cool ride, right? So she, like I said, like I may have bullied her a little bit, but I think it made her stronger. It made her
definitely.
That kind of analysis for being able to deal with me and my relationship. So I think it helped.
Yeah, I think it does. Being the older sibling, and then them to make it's like depending on if it's sports, they gotta kind of live up to your name or just whatever. But we had different last names, so a lot of people didn't know. I used to hate when my sister finally got to high school and stuff. Dudes be, man, that's my sister. No, you're not talking to her at all. No, we're not on none of that. I don't listen. Yeah, listen, I ain't play. I remember I wanted to do the church because we called my sister her name, but I don't play. I was going crazy, like and that's the same thing with her. Cause she, people try to joke on me and stuff. She going, yeah. But it's cool now. I think it's cooler now to have dope conversations, go hang out, chill, even though she's a little younger. Because back in the day, it's like, no, you can't come with me. Like, but now, she kind of close in age. She got friends and stuff. She an AKA. What's funny is she went to school for teaching. Got her degree and everything. I'm the one in school teachers. Even though she's a yoga instructor and then she's a manager at a restaurant. She lives in California. Like once she stopped teaching, she just moved it. She moved to Houston, moved to California. So no, it was before. It was like a little before COVID. Cause she didn't like it no more. I think she went to a school in Houston and she said it was like Eastside High. And she was like, nah, she didn't teach for her. No, I don't know. I don't remember. I never even asked her like what road she took. Cause I was an assistant and then that's how I got the I just
sound like a podcast episode, man. That might be a family.
We've had one where she's gone, but I never asked her that. What we was talking about was like her travel. She's always traveled. She's always going somewhere. Every time I look up on her story, she's somewhere. But I might have to ask her that because I never asked her what. I know it took her a minute to pass the test, the teacher test, to get your license. But I don't remember what road she started off at home. Cause we from Michigan City, Indiana. She started off there. Yeah, I might have to ask her that. Yeah, see what. So. Did you say you only played football for 2 years and then went to college?
Yeah, high school.
So did you play for fun as a kid or you played?
Yeah, I played for fun. I played in the Orange League. Okay, right there on 56th Street.
Yeah, that's where the kids on my basketball team, all of them play football and they play for City Coast, so they play right there.
So I was there from third grade playing flag all the way to sixth grade. Seventh grade, I played at Faulkner Middle School. I dislocated my shoulder, missed basketball season, and said I'm never playing football ever again. So, that led me to, obviously playing ball. My eighth grade year, freshman year, sophomore year, I tried for JV. I get cut. I'm like devastated because since I was a kid, I looked up to Kobe Bryant. That was like it still is RIP, and that was like one of the biggest, people I didn't know, but influences in my life. Man, I looked up to him like no other as far as just people and his work ethic and how to like carry himself too. Like I wanted to be Kobe, man. Like I know a lot of us did, but I really wanted to be Kobe. And I was hurt, man, when I wasn't able to play ball anymore. Man. I didn't know what to do. Come to find out, my dad actually was the reason why all of that happened. So apparently the basketball coach, came to him on the second day of tryouts and told him, your son's going to make the team, but he's not going to play. He's going to be like 11 and 12 on the bench. And my dad was like, cut him. so we can get him in another sport. So, because he knew I didn't want to go on. I wanted to focus on basketball. He saw the direction it was going. It wasn't going. So he made the executive decision. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. Like, people, they might have opinions on that, but I mean, it worked out. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say with that. So, after that, he walked me down to the track coach's office. That's where kind of this whole transition began. I went out for track my junior year because, that was my sophomore year. So that was the only sport I could do. I missed football that year already. So going into the spring, I did track. I was a long jumper. I did a couple sprints, but I ended up going to state the next year in long jump. So and my junior year also was the first year I went out football. And, I was kind of able to combine like the things I was learning from track, with football, and it just made me a better football player. My dad knew he already. That's what I said, man. A lot of the decisions in my life and the things that aren't necessarily because like people look at me like, man, you're so great, you're so smart, you're so athletic, blah blah blah. Like none of this is because of me. Like I'm not as smart as you think I am. I'm not as athletic as you think I am. I know me because I'm me. Like I know what I was given. My God-given ability. All I do is listen and I make decisions. I go with the flow. I go with my gut. Really. I go with flow. But I got great people in my life that have always kind of like guided me, directed me. And even working behind the scenes like my dad did to kind of make sure I was like put myself in the best position to succeed. And I took advantage of the opportunity. Like I saw it as I had nothing to lose. It was my junior year. I'm like I had a coach that I was out there day one. Desmond Cooks, I'll never forget this. I tell this story all the time. He looked at me. I was on JV. It's my junior year, first time playing ball since seventh grade. He said, "Man, you could play D1." I was like, "What? This is my first year playing football. Like we at camp." I'm like, "Man, I'm trash. I mean, I'm terrible." And I'm just giving it up. Even when I pull up my senior highlight, I'm like, I was trash. But he saw something in me, man. I think it was just the size. He saw my dad. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's your dad." Every visit I went to after that, just kind of fast forwarding, I always brought my dad. Because they would see my dad, they was like, "Oh, that's your dad? And you playing a skill position?" They're like, "Oh yeah, come on." Like, or at least let's bring you to a camp. Let's bring you to a workout. Let's see what you got. And then, man, I ended up with 14 offers after my junior year season. Didn't even start going through the season. But week 3, we been blown out by Pipe, 35-14. Man, it's crazy. I still remember this today. 35-14, get blown out. They throw me in the fourth quarter. They run quarterback sweep. Running back as a lead blocker. I run downhill for my safety position, bro. So it's an outside play. Hit the running back into the quarterback, and they both fall down. And that was like the clip that was the first clip on my highlight tape that we were sending out to all the colleges. And then it just started. The conversation started happening, and visits, and offers, and bro, it just crazy what happened in like it was probably like 8 months, like 4 months during the season, and then 4 months after. Like it's just crazy. Like that's exploded.
That's crazy. But back to your dad, like he understood, and that was smart of him to tell them to cut you, because that's the worst thing to see of a kid sit on a bench. My son, he played school ball, it's politics here, and you got to play early, so he played for Ben Davis 4th grade. He had to try out. It ain't even elementary where you just go out. So he played, and I coach him on our age. I'm a basketball kid, so I took being a dad out of it, and I'm like, he should be able to play. He's not a star player, but my man's can play. Like, he gonna give you everything he got, and his coach, he gonna listen to his coach. He ain't gonna always listen to me, but he gonna listen to his coach. And I was just like, man, this sucks. We driving all around here. I would rather him not been on the team and been able to go work and focus. But it was like, let him stay on there, because they have to know who you are. Because if they don't know who you are by 4th or 5th grade, you might not make the team for the rest of the season. Unless you're one of those star crazy players. And I don't know if he'll be there, but he has it in him. But as a dad, like, you gotta make those decisions. I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. It wasn't even me being a dad. It was me being just a person in those sports. So I got a little cousin. I used to watch him. He was like 13, so he's like 6 foot. He's big as all get up. They live in McCourt. So baseball season started. Mom like, I'm gonna put him in baseball. I'm like, no, don't do it. He's not a sports person. So he go out there. They're like, oh, we got the token black guy. He's really big. Trash. I'm trash. And I told her. And now he's smart. He does computer work. He's doing a lot of great stuff because he's smart. He wasn't athletic. And you have to make those decisions for your kid. Like, hey, my man, it ain't for you. It ain't for everybody. It ain't. But your dad, like, that is important to have that. Even if you don't have a dad, have somebody in your life that can help you see what you don't see. Right? Because if you just keep going, you're not going to know what direction to go. Because you would have been like, all right, yeah, I made the team. Every week, hey, son, you going to play this week? Well, the coach said I'm going to play. You just sitting there and just like, I could be doing something else. But yeah, make sure that you have a coach. It don't got to be a dad. It could be a life coach, a mentor, or something, because that's very important to have in your life. So, you get all these offers. How did you choose the school that you was going to go to?
That's a great question. That's an excellent question. How did I choose what school I was going to go to? So, I knew I wanted to do engineering still. I still had a goal to be a biomedical engineer. That was still a goal of mine, right? So, the different schools I was going to, I was kind of shopping that idea around, like, what's your engineering program like? Can I do both? Because usually they don't allow you to do those type of majors when you're an athlete. So, a few schools were, not necessarily the best engineering program. We don't know if that's necessarily something that we feel like we be able to balance, especially as a young kid. Cincinnati was one of the schools that they said, yes, we have a biomed program. Yes, you can do it and play. You can enroll early. And so it just started checking out the boxes. They had, I still say this too, man. I was a uniform guy. Like, I was checking uniforms. I was looking at how many people was in the league. I was looking at all of the different things like that. Like, about my position, how many people they put in the league. Talking to position coaches about that, like, where they see me in the rotation, or like, what's their long-term vision. And then I was just kind of like taking all that information. Not like writing it down or anything, bro. Just kind of like, I knew, with so many offers, like, I'm only taking about 3 or 4 schools seriously. And Cincinnati was one of them. Wisconsin was one I was kind of like hoping for, but then it was like, it's just like a girl. It's like, I don't want to wait around for you if you're not interested. I'm not about to wait till you get interested. Like, then I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not doing that. IU, I considered them for a day. It was the day they offered me. Sorry, but and I would say Northern Illinois was probably, and that's just a random one off the top of my head because I knew they had a good football program. They also had a black jersey, and I was a fan of that. They had a decent engineering program, but Cincy it was close to home. It was an hour and a half away. It was in another state, so I wanted to be able to like go to another state and still have my family close by. It was on the river. The stadium was in the middle of the campus, so like it wasn't necessarily a football or a basketball school. I think it was just like a sports school, man. Like they love sports. Yeah. They love the Bengals. They love the Bearcats. So I felt the love when I was going, and I committed probably later than most kids do. But I knew I was graduating early, so I wanted to make the right decision. And it happened so fast. I just wanted to weigh out my options. We just checked all the boxes. And I ended up just signing my letter and taking that move. As soon as my senior year was out of there. November. Yeah. No, second week of December. Out of there. I couldn't wait.
That's dope for you to have different offers and be able to choose different schools. Because sometimes, from Michigan, being from Michigan City, like it's a very small town.
Beautiful.
Man, everybody that don't live there say that. I appreciate it, but like you don't get those kind of offers. You get offers to like Indiana schools, or you don't get the offers that you see now being here in Indianapolis. Like the options that kids get here is so much different from here, and it's like, and that's dope to see kids be able to be like, and I don't know where to go, but I can tell by your decision, pops was involved. Just by the questions that you was asking and everything, like, cause sometimes people get that, I'm going to this school, what? Go to that school and season start, they ain't playing, you ain't nothing that they said was gonna happen, cause it just didn't happen that way because you didn't ask the right question.
How about this? It was actually once, so that's what I'm saying. My dad at that point, he was just the happy dad. I remember this very clearly. All the visits, all of the talks, conversations. Happy dad, excited his kid, got all these different options. He's like, yes, I made the right choice, like you said. I got him cut. I got him all, I got him basically on the right path. My mom was the one having all the conversations, the academic advisors, the athletic advisors, the coaches. That's where she was like, okay, it's my time. Let me make sure this is something that's they're gonna have the right programs that are gonna support him. They got the right resources that are gonna support him outside of athletics. And so I knew what I was looking for in the athletics side. And that's kind of where the guy that I said was kind of my mentor who looked at me my junior year and was like, oh, you can play for one. He was along that process too. He was doing a lot of the legwork on that piece when it came to the football side. And my mom was working on the athletic side. So it was almost like I had a team around me, man. And like I said, it just goes back to what I said about people being in my life that were able to kind of like guide me. Like I wasn't just necessarily going with whatever they said, even my mentor and my parents, but I was listening. Yeah. And I would get their feedback, and I wanted their opinion. Like I would have my own opinion, then I want yours too, so then I can compare. Say, yep, I noticed that too. I caught that when he said that, and I was like, nah, I ain't coming here. So I caught that. Glad everybody caught that. So that was awesome. Man. My mom she was driving that.
That's a mom though. A mom ain't gonna let their kid go nowhere where they don't feel safe. If they get that phone call, they gonna be there in 0.5 seconds. But yeah, my mom's gonna make sure that the I's is dotted, the T's is crossed. If it comes to money, how much did it? And that takes me back to back in the day with the young R&B artists and groups. Their parents were just, oh, I'm excited that we got signed, but nobody was looking, nobody was checking, and then now y'all broke or y'all got all this debt and different stuff because you can't just get happy because you got in the room. You got to know being in the room, is that going to benefit you? Is it going to add value to your life? Or are you just going to be happy to just, I made it. It's kind of like with All-Star Weekend and just a lot of celebrities being here. People was like, oh, I took a picture. Okay, you took a picture, but what that picture go to? Yeah, have a conversation. Build a relationship. See who they manager, who they people is, they reps in the room and talk to them. Like, it's cool to get a picture and say, I met somebody, but did you meet them and they add value to you? Like, I ain't trying to just meet nobody and just. Now, the only person I'll probably say, Allen Iverson. That was like how you was like Kobe. That's how I was with Iverson. So if I seen Iverson, I might be a fan. Like, hey, you my coach. Skip what everybody talking about, but anybody else, it's like I want to have a conversation. Hey, you want to jump on the podcast? Whatever the case may be. Instead of just being happy that you're in a room, you gotta actually like Yeah, let people know that you in the room for a reason. Like, you don't just be in there because that's why a lot of times us as black people, we just get happy. I seen, or I was with the I met the CEO. Okay, what happened after? Well, you think happened? No, nothing happened. Okay, then I don't want to hear about it because and that's a different mindset of having rather than being excited. So you go to your school. How does your football career go being in college?
It was interesting. I played safety going in, and I should probably preface what I'm about to say. All of the offers, every school wanted me to play linebacker to the exception of I was adamant about playing safety. Once again, because I thought I knew better than all of these coaches that have been in this game a lot longer than me. But I was a safety. I was like, I want to play safety. I love Taylor Mays. He was a guy I looked up to. And I was like, I want to be like Taylor Mays. If he can do it, I can do it. First of all, I was not running a 4.3. I wasn't 6'3", but I was a different guy. So they had the right evaluation. They had me more of like a Sam kind of player. I had the ability to cover. So I could feed, get eyes, get in eye coordination. But eventually I made that transition after my first year. I was playing a lot of special teams. I ended up being a true freshman my freshman year. So I got a chance to play primarily on special teams. But I had some games, some conference games, where I was able to step in and play safety, a little nickel, some packages, some dime packages too. So I got some experience my first year, my third year playing. I got some great experience getting on the field. Next year, our coach leaves, goes to TC. We get a new coach, Tommy Tuberville. We go through spring ball. They reevaluate kind of my position and role on the team, and that's when they kind of moved me to nickel. So now I'm the full-time starter at I would say nickel Sam, really. Not even nickel. I really was playing both. We had a guy that was designated to play nickel. We had a guy that was a Sam, a true Sam linebacker who actually performed. And then myself, where I basically played both. So I was like their backup. But they had like some different packages where I would come in and blitz off the edge, or I would come in and man up a tight end that was like a receiving tight end, some things like that. So I moved to a different position my sophomore year. My junior year, they moved me to will linebacker, weak side linebacker. So they moved me outside the box to in the box, which was definitely different. And I was still probably like 210 at the time. So when I came off 195, probably was gaining like 5-6 pounds a year. After 210, 211, 212, my junior year was playing will. That was a very interesting year because I wasn't necessarily used to being in the box. Like safety and nickel it still felt, that open field and, going against receivers, just playing outside run plays. But those inside run plays, man, hitting fullbacks and spilling power plays and, boxing in the tackle and, like offensive lineman, I was dealing with that. Like I had no idea how to use my hands. And, I just never had to do any of that. So it was like a whole different skill set I had to adopt because they said, we need you here. So I figured it out. So, like you said, third year I played will. Senior year, they moved me to Mike, starting Mike linebacker. So I'm playing middle linebacker. And I'm like, okay, well, now I kind of got some experience being like a weak side linebacker. I understand how that position goes. Now I got to learn the strong side linebacker and all the responsibilities and techniques of being a strong side linebacker. So I played a different position every year in college. Never got a chance to fully grasp and develop in one singular role. It just kind of made me a master of that. So I was just kind of like good at doing all of these different things, but I wasn't necessarily I didn't have a body of work where I feel like an NFL team could say, he's this, and we want you to play this. I remember a lot of conversations I was having with the scouts. They were like, what position would you play? And I was like, I don't even know. I would want to play will, but I could play nickel. And they were like, well, I think we evaluating the same thing. We're looking at you like, we don't know where we will put you. Because you're not running a 4.3, you're more like a 4.5, 4.6 guy. So it's like you're not slow, but you're not like blazing fast. So we don't want to put you in like the slot in the lead. That's a different that's a different type of cover right there. So unless I'm like a zone guy, they're like, we don't necessarily want you in the box either. I was probably like 220, 225. 225 on a heavy day. I was probably like 222. That was my weight inside my life. So 222, that's pretty small. And the NFL offensive linemen, those strong guys. So yeah, it was it was a unique experience, man, because I feel like they knew they could just put me in any position that was hard. I absorbed information. I was able to lead, so I was always a leader. I was always leading by example, being vocal leader. It really like pushed me to be more vocal. I was really quiet and reserved. People were like, man, look, we need you to play. You're one of our freshmen. We need you to step up and talk. So I got out of that little reserved, quiet guy that I was, and started talking to people. But yeah, man, it was interesting, and I think it just helped me kind of be a well-rounded like individual, and I know a lot about football. I played 5 different positions, so I mean, I know a lot about football. I know a lot about defense, and from that, I know a lot about offense because these positions you got to understand what the offense is trying to do, attack your position. So that's why in my junior year, my coach said, no, my senior year, my head coach told me, he said, look, I'd love to have you on my coaching staff. And I was like, during the season. I was like, man, I'll try it out, but yeah, coaching not for me. I know it's not for me. I have no patience. I'm still working on it. I'm trying to develop that. But, coaching, you got to have patience. But, coaching is I just don't have it. I don't have it now. Yeah. I'm developing. I have it somewhat, but not enough.
Oh, no, you you'll get it.
With no kids either. That's probably
that might have to do with it not having kids. But I think as you get older, your patience for just stupid stuff, like, cause kids, they do, like, this generation know it all. And it's like, you can't tell them nothing, say nothing to them, but it's like, alright, cause me and the other coach, we was having a conversation before I got here, just talking about the team and how we can work on them and stuff, and just realizing, like, some of them just ain't where we want them to be, so we can't push them to, or it's like, I was like, man, we can't even teach them hero stuff yet. He's like, I know, because they all football players, except for like maybe 3 or 4, like my son and two or three other people. So they all football, and they just doing this just to have something to do. But it's like, okay, if y'all out here, y'all got to be willing to learn, just like y'all are on the football field. I told him, I said, let's start when we play defense. Let's break the defense down as it would be in football. They'll understand it a little bit more. So it's like having those. As I got older, I got more patience. But I've always had patience with kids for the most part. But working with kids, that's a whole different ballgame. And coaching kids and anything, because you're a doctor, a nurse, a therapist, a mom, a dad, all these different things. You never know what day you have to do that role. So, I don't know.
I love kids too, man. I got patience working with kids. Yeah, coaching. It's like I played the sport. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's really hard. And I need to work with elite athletes, and I feel like that may sound like arrogant. Like I really can only work with skill. I can only see myself working with those, and that's just me. I'm like who I am. Yeah. If I'm not working with professionals, I don't want to do it. And I don't want to work. I don't want to work in the league. I don't want to work in the city. I just don't want to do it. I have no interest. I know I can't do that. So yeah, I used to know everything.
Yeah, they know everything. And with boys, you be about ready to fight. Yeah, because this generation is the most disrespectful generation I think I've met. Because they just they don't give a fuck. They just talk to you. No, they will talk to you crazy, and then they expect you, because you're a teacher or you work in the school. I'm not one of them. Don't think you. I tell you, hey, I'm not one of them teachers y'all think I am. I will get on your head. Don't come talking to me crazy. Because if you don't correct them or you don't stand up to them in a certain sense, then they're going to just do it to me and everybody. And it's like, no, I don't know. God put me in this position. Because I be ready to, I coach middle school with boys. I want to fight about them. Because they just talk too crazy. Like, bro, you're not about to keep talking to me like I'm somebody off the street. Hey, get out my gym. Yeah, you want to talk to me like, go find you something else to do.
We can talk about it though right now. So that's a reason why I feel like I would be a good coach, because I know my coaches now too. Mm-hmm. It's part of the way I phrase. It's going to be a militant coaching style that a lot of these kids aren't going to be able to handle.
Yeah.
We're going to, if you got something to say, your grades ain't right, everybody's going to be on time in class. There's not going to be any missed assignments. Ain't going to be no teachers calling me talking about he wasn't doing this. He was talking in class. There's not going to be any, I didn't know, coach. No, none of that. Everybody's going to know the standard. And once we set the standard, anybody outside the standard, you can go somewhere else. Parents, you don't like it, take them somewhere else. Because everybody here, I ain't worried about winning. I'm worried about developing. We're going to win as a byproduct. Yeah. I know that for a fact. That every team that I know that won, either A, had a generational talented player, or B, just had a generational, or I wouldn't even say generational coach, but they had a coach that established a foundation of greatness. And everybody follows suit. And they empower leaders to be able to be leaders on the court, extensions of the coach. And they didn't try to overcrowd everybody. You have to empower a few kids that you know are going to be leaders, local or by example, and then you just kind of let them handle the court piece. You call the plays, and then you make sure you manage the individuals. Everybody's different. You got different personality, different emotions, different households. Yeah. So that's why I said I know I can't do it because I'm not gonna say can't. I don't want to do it because I know what's gonna come with my coaching style. There's gonna be a lot of pushback.
With your coaching style, that's a great coaching style. That's kind of how I am. I think with our AAU team, we've had a program, in and out, but now we got something solid, and that's how I come. Like first day of practice, I got our core values. I got our stuff. If you don't act right in school, no. Like this season was probably my worst coaching middle school because I allowed so much bullshit. But I was only the assistant coach. But yeah, I can only do so much. And I worked at the school, so I would see them dummies doing dumb stuff. Like, bro, what are y'all doing? Or their teacher emailing, and it's like the school wasn't on them to say, hey, they can't play. They'd be like, oh, well, they said we can play. And it's like, as coaches, do we let them play? Do we not let them play? Like, I seen a post during the season. It was like, do you want a team full of disrespectful kids and win, or do you want respectful kids and go off of I'll take respectful kids all day every day. But you definitely as a coach have to have a standard. If you don't, then your team, they're gonna walk all over you. Like I coached girls high school for the first time last year. I was like, I'm passionate, I'm loud, and I cuss. If you don't like it, you can leave. Nobody left. We had a horrible season because none of them really knew how to play, but we developed players. And when we won our 2 or 3 games, it was like we won the Super Bowl. But I had respectable kids. Like they knew, oh, okay, I was wrong in this situation. Coach gonna get on me, or hey, run. I hate kids that, we gotta run. Oh, you don't want to run? You might as well stay at home. What you doing here?
We'll be the most conditioned team in the state. Yeah, and that's another reason why they're not. Like I'm gonna intentionally, because like I said, I've been there, done it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna intentionally try to break all of that.
Yeah.
I want to see what you made of.
Yeah.
And you're really uncomfortable. You're extremely uncomfortable. I want to see what type of person you are, because you're kids. So that's why I said I don't know how a kid would react. I know how I reacted at 18 days. And I'm still a kid, but that's like different. I'm at a different point in my life. And you know what's on the line. The dollars set you on the line. Yeah. You're trying to get to the next level after that. A kid that's 12, 13, they're still kind of figuring it out. So I can only push them so far, but not I'm gonna push them.
I would say though, it's some dogs out there that you push them or that adversity. Like our team, like we've been into some adversity and they ain't never fold. Like we played, our team is 4th grade, we mixed 5th grade, maybe a 6th grade, just depending on age. But they went and played whoever's in front of them. It don't matter. And you see, oh shit, oh my god, what in the world? They going out there, they don't care if you're older, they don't care if you got the star player, they gon' fight. It's just a part of, hey, y'all can have a better fight if y'all listen when we in practice. And if y'all do those little things that we tell y'all to do. And I think that comes with age and comes with wanting to actually play. With my son, I'm like, you ain't even really turned on yet. And he was like, nah. Because I'm like, bro, everywhere he goes, people always, oh, that's your son, he good. I hear it all the time. People come up to him, but he just a kid. So as his dad, I'm like, I just gotta let him be a kid. I can't force him. Because if I force him, it's gonna mess him up. So I just throw little stuff in his ear, and I can start seeing, okay, he wanted a little more, but yeah, it's the way you would coach though. If you got the right kid, yeah, you will have a elite program, and they will be top notch. But it's all about like the right kind of kids
and AB.
Yeah,
I need to know. Facility.
Yeah. See that's where we as our program, that's what we want. Facility. You're seeing certain teams, they got facilities, they got trainers, they got all this stuff. It's like, man, that's all we need is a facility, so we can have our own and we can really pour into them like we want. Because you get a school here for a couple months, you might gotta go here. And we got one location. We gonna get all the kids from whatever side, or parents gonna be like, oh, they got a thing. Let's go here, because we don't really charge. We ain't trying, because we know how hard it is. You gotta pay for your uniform, but other than that, we ain't really charging you to be on our team, because that could separate a kid from making it out or staying in because their parents can't afford for them to do some different stuff. But yeah, that's definitely the goal. So you went to school 4 years. You at your senior year. What happens after college?
Yeah, so after college, I really during my senior year, so like I said, I was actually finished the third game of the season. I was dealing with some health issues, and it was kind of hindering my ability to perform at a high level. And from that, I felt like I saw the writing on the wall. Like, I'm probably not going to fit it. So that was never. I mean, I'm probably like 5 or 6 games into my senior year. Like, I'm not going to. I don't know what's next for me. I'll probably just try to get a job and here in Cincinnati and just kind of pursue a career in public health. That was my major. Just try to be a regular guy. I really like being a regular guy, believe it or not. Like, I'm a very humble guy. Like, I don't like attention. I don't like being a public guy. I like speaking, but I'm not really one that likes a lot of attention. So I was cool with not making that. They said, obviously the money, the money line, the opportunity was there. Yeah, I would have jumped up. Obviously, at the chance, I would have left my junior year. But I saw the writing on the wall, so I just kind of started planning for the next phase. Lo and behold, my family friend now, but the same coach that saw my ability, my potential in high school, he started making some phone calls to a couple of NFL scouts that he kind of knew as relationships with, just working in the industry. A couple of them were kind of connected in the CFL, the Canadian Football League. So from there, he got me a couple of NFL workouts. He got me a couple of CFL workouts. None of the NFL teams ended up picking me. So I never even got to set foot in camp. I did a couple workouts, but nothing ever materialized. But, I got accepted to go to a camp and signed a contract to go play in Toronto, actually. And I was there for like 2 weeks, and they cut me. But then immediately after I signed the contract with Iowa Redblacks for the next season. And it was a 2-year contract with a 1-year option. Knowing what I know now, I would have never signed it. I would have signed a 1-year contract. Because I outplayed that contract the first year, and then I was like strapped. Like I was still handicapped the next 2 years. So it was just a situation where I think my family friend, he was just kind of doing what he thought was best for me. And that was a situation where, like I said, I kind of would listen and trust a lot of people that would kind of guide my life. Yeah. And that was a situation where, it wasn't necessarily the best outcome, but I still got the experience. So maybe that was, I had to rationalize in my head, like that was maybe what I needed to get in the door. And then from there, I got to say I got to play professionally. So, maybe it wasn't necessarily about being a multi-millionaire and being able to maximize all my ability play and actually get that large payday, but it was just more so the experience and the things that I learned. The people that I met, man, some of the greatest people that I've met, a lot of relationships I've formed in the NFL, great guys, great GMs. That's what I'm saying. It was more of an experience thing for me, but I really just wish things could have maybe been a little bit early in my college career, and I had a chance to hone in on one position and see where that kind of took me. Because I felt like I had that ability. I feel like cerebral enough to understand not only the playbook and what we're doing, but how the offense is reading what I'm doing and what we're doing and how they're looking to attack what we're doing. So from that, like I'm able to kind of see everything. Like I said, like I'm taking all that to my work now. Like I think offensively and defensively because I want to know everything. I always want to know everything. That's just how I am. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily the professional career I wanted, but I was extremely grateful to have the opportunity to even play pro. Because like I said, my senior year I was like, I'm done. I never want to play football again. And just like I said, I never want to play basketball again. And God said no, no. And I had another conversation with my dad too, of course. So my dad's always gonna make a cameo appearance in a lot of these situations where I'm wanting him getting advice. And he was like, man, look, you can always go work. You can't always play football. So go see see if something shakes. I know you didn't necessarily have the career you wanted in college, but see if something shakes out. And, led to a 5-year career, man. So I had a great time. Parlayed another opportunity with the Saints and the Bears. But, neither one of those shook out after my, like a midway through my CFL career. They kind of wanted to take a look at me to see if they wanted to sign me. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Won a Grey Cup championship my last year, and from there, man, like kind of rode off into the sunset. Once I saw the writing on the wall again, I'm like, man, this is probably how much I'm gonna make. No, I don't think anybody's gonna pay me more than I'm making right now, and I might as well go work a regular job and see if I can get take that next step in my professional career outside of that.
That's dope. And shout out to your dad again.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Because that definitely was important because you would have been not maybe done football. You might have regretted and been one of them people that woulda, shoulda, coulda, because I didn't. But it's in life, I think people miss experiences, like just doing different stuff. Us being able to take our team to All-Star Weekend and being in a tournament, then getting to play in Lucas Oil, they gonna remember that. They got to play on the Pacers for they're only 9 to 11. They already been able to do that, and now that's like attainable. They seen Jamal Crawford, they seen Bree Jones from the WNBA, so they got to see the different stuff and experience. We would have won, that would have made the experience even better, but we had the experience going against some dogs, and it was like, okay, we know what we need to do and go back to the drawing board, but just the experience. And even as a dad, like not being able to go do the all-star stuff, but I'm with my son, I'm with my homies, my boys, like, and it was a great experience. And sometimes I think people miss opportunities in life because they don't want to go and get the experience of something. Because most of the time when people live in the hood, you live around the way, something that can change your life is experience. And just getting in the camp or going with a coach taking you to play somewhere else. You like, oh, I really can do this. And if you never experience that, that hope is never going to be in your brain because you don't know if that's really obtainable. So that's dope for your pops though. The whole time to kind of be like, he was like, what's the name? Richard, King Richard, Venus and Serena dad. Like he knew the plan. He knew what he wanted for his kids from the get go. And people thought he was crazy and all this and that. And his daughter is literally probably one of the greatest women athletes of all time, not just in tennis, but in all sports. And as a parent, you got to make sure you have a plan for your child. Your child will have, and I ain't trying to preach, but it's like with God. God had a plan for us, but as the kid, we want to go do that. But God, we got to go back to our parent. Your kid gonna come back to you and ask for advice or ask, what should I do? You got to have a plan in your head of what you see for your child. But you also have to be honest. Like, you have to be honest as a parent. Your child suck, he suck. If he ain't, good in whatever you keep putting them in, stop putting them in. Like, let them try out what they want to do, and that's how you gonna figure out what your child likes to do. Not you. Oh, I was a 5-star athlete. Your child might not have no athletic bone in their body. You want them going out there and then you get mad, you yelling, cussing them out. Now your relationship with your child messed up because you trying to live your dreams with your child. Don't do that as a parent.
But usually those parents are trying to live their dreams, their failed dreams through their kids. Yep. And it ends up negatively impacting their relationship. And it's a slippery slope. I know some relationships, some teammates that I've had, they had parents that they had some resentment towards because of things that happened, when they were in middle school, high school. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's really on the kid, and you can't lie to them to your point. My dad, once again, was really, he had many sayings. One of the ones that I remember very vividly was that I will never lie to you. I love you enough that I'll never lie to you. I'm always say the truth. If the world will lie to you, the world will tell you the best things to say bread. But as soon as you come home, be like, you ain't all that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you're right. I never really felt like I was all that. Maybe after my junior year, that's when he humbled me. The first year I played, like it was none of that success was really because of me. But I got all those offers. I started feeling myself a little bit, and he quickly humbled me. Like, hey man, don't forget where you was at last year. Don't forget this all could have been you sitting on the bench playing basketball. You thought you were better. So stop. This ain't because of you. And he checked me, and from there I kind of just kept that level of humility all the way to today. Like I definitely was feeling myself that junior year. I'll tell you that. That was, if you knew me in 2010 at Lawrence Central, man, they may have thought I was like some asshole. But I got humbled, man, in my senior year. I came back, and it was really about the young guys. I loved my senior year, man. The young guys I was a junior on like a pretty much all senior team my first year, which was another reason why I feel like I kind of absorbed a lot of information because they had all played together for 3-4 years. So those are really so longer than that. And so I came in and I just like plugged right in with what they already had going on. And then the next year they all graduated, and it was like 3 seniors and everybody was like sophomores and like a couple juniors. So I loved that year because it was just they were all young, they was hungry. That team ended up actually winning state, like those sophomores. That was the first Lawrence Central football team in the state. And it was nothing to do with me. But I just remember, like, man, these kids are going to be special. I remember saying it, and I was like, bro, these kids are going to be special. And it wasn't anything talent related, man. They were just dogs. They were hungry. They wanted it. And I saw that in them, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to give them any knowledge, any information, everything I got, I'm going to give them to them. And I'm going to help them. I'm going to lead them. They were young. And, lo and behold, man, they ended up winning it all in 2014. My first, I think I was a junior. No, I was a sophomore in college, man. They won it all. So I was really happy for them. And I tried to pass that torch along. That's all you can really do is pay it forward, man. Yeah. A lot of information, tools, resources that you can just pass on to the next generation. So,
yep. That's like with me, like somebody see me when they come to basketball, it's like, I played freshman year and I got to play a couple games freshman year. So I never really played on a major team. I wasn't good in school. My grades was horrible.
But,
yeah, honestly. But if you see me play, you like kids could absorb what I have. Like it's way more talent than you. But you ain't got more heart than me. Like I'm gonna give you everything you got. Like if you beat me, it ain't gonna be no walk in the park. And that's what I'm trying to install in kids. Like if I can go play basketball and bust people head, y'all can do the same thing because y'all way more talented than me. I'm just smarter than y'all. It's so funny how kids be like, oh, come on, coach, let's play. All right, let's play. I'm gonna beat you because I'm smarter than you. You trying to do all these moves and get the people on the sideline to be woo. I'm not going for none of that. I'm chilling and I'm gonna wait. And I know how to get to. I'm like Paul Pierce. I know I could be slow. I'm gonna get to my spot. And that's like understanding like me being very high basketball IQ. That's what I'm trying to teach the kids. Like I can't teach y'all certain moves and all that. I can teach you how to go to them and not give up. And when they realize that, I think that's when my son realizes that it's just in him. That's when he's gonna be ugly. People because he light skinned with red hair, so people gonna know who he is. But that's what I try to teach kids. But I also study the game, like you said, with offense, defense. Like when I'm in coach mode, I watch nothing but YouTube videos of coaches, plays, all this different stuff. I didn't woke up in the middle of the night like, oh, okay, thinking of different stuff. But if you don't do that, you can't give anybody the weaponry to go out there and fight. If you don't know what you're talking about, because there be people, it's coaches. They got a team full of everybody that can hoop. Duh, y'all gonna go win, but go with one of them and some people that's okay and see what you do. We got people that don't play basketball at all. Hey, we went to Bloomington last year. I think we just got the team together, went down there and won. We playing teams that fight and play together. You can tell they coach got some running plays, but if you got that dog and you ain't gonna give up and you got a little bit of talent, you can win. But people don't realize that. They think you gotta have all the talent in the world. Look at role players.
I was one, so yeah. I know that's what I'm saying. I understand.
Yeah,
you need those guys, and that's why I said like I know my coaching style. It wouldn't be everyone's favorite, and I would have the dogs on my team. I know I would. I'd have the dogs, but they're gonna shake hands. They're not gonna be hooting, hollering. They're not doing none of that. Everybody's wearing the same thing. Like it's gonna be a certain way, man. So not everybody's gonna want to be a part of it. They can probably go.
They ain't, but they will, because it's almost like the Spurs. You look at the Spurs and you see how many years they was winning. They wasn't fancy. They wasn't woo-ha, and somebody got dunked on. You might see the bench back, but people wanted to play for a winning program. It's about the system. Because my son, he like that. He talks so much trash. Like, and then I'd be like, bro, you can't do that all the time. You don't have to do that all the time because you're gonna find it's gonna be a player. Everybody know them certain player. Oh, you talking trash? Okay. Yep. And then it's ugly. I shouldn't have said that. Because that's how I talk trash. I'm probably one of the biggest trash talkers in anything. I don't care what we're doing. If I know how to play, I'm talking trash. I don't care if I know I might lose. I'm talking trash. Because it's mentally getting me pumped up, but then it's throwing somebody off. Somebody ain't gonna be able to handle it, so it's gonna throw their game off. But you gotta know when to poke the bear. Because every time you score, you should be, oh yeah, I scored. Bro, you act like you ain't never scored before. What are you doing here? Act like you've been here before. And that's how you humble your kid. Like act like you've been here, or like your dad. Remember last year? Remember you that? I be like that. I'm honest with my bro. You had one good game. What you do last game? You was 0 for 13 last game. Yeah. So, what do you got going now? Because you don't do sports, and you're in real estate. So, kind of tell us a little bit of what you got going on with that. Because I like to hear this definitely episode. I'm gonna show to my players, just because they can hear from somebody that plays professionally how life went. Because sometimes you see it, but you don't get to actually obtain it or be able to touch that person or anything with that. So just tell us a little bit more like what you got going on and how that's going for you.
Yeah, and I'll say this, and I've been in you guys' shoes, so I already know kind of the mindset you guys have set on playing pro. I know that's a goal that you should strive to achieve. But for me, it got to a point, man, where I started looking at, kind of the money I was making when I was professionally and how can I find different ways to make my money work for me. I got interested in investing, and it kind of led me down a path where I was reading into, researching about Warren Buffett, different investment strategies, all these different stock traders, looking into stocks, analyzing businesses, profit and loss statements, which is all information that you guys probably don't understand right now. But look, y'all use ChatGPT, y'all on Google, YouTube. That's just stuff like, I was on YouTube University while I was playing. Yeah. So that's during COVID. We didn't have a season, and that's where I really had an opportunity. I was training still with Billy down in Atlanta. Shout out to Will. And I was just every day after workouts, 10 a.m. I'm getting home. I'm just on YouTube. I'm reading books. I'm making phone calls to CBRE and Marcus and Milchat, trying to figure out like what do I need to do to get into the industry. Trying to network with people, and it just kind of led me to a fellowship here. Lucky enough, in my hometown, I was looking for any way to just kind of get into the real estate industry, and that was just another kind of avenue I was looking at with all of that investment type of that appetite that I had to kind of get into investments. How can I find a way to get in the pathway of money? So that was really where I took an interest and really wanted to learn more about how to work in industry where money flows through consistently, no matter what the market, how the market cycles is turning, and what phase we're necessarily in with political climate, interest rates, and so on and so forth. Or I wanted to find a market that was somewhat stable and that always had private equity looking to invest. And from that point, I just, like I said, I found the internship in Indiana. They would promote minority developers and give them opportunities to learn about real estate development with no experience. And I came in the interview, man, and I just told them, I said, I was the first fellow that they had. And I told them, I said, if this is the first time you guys are doing the fellowship, I need to be the first one. I'm going to be the poster child for this. I'm going to set the stage for all of the fellows that come after. You'll be able to point at me and say, yeah, that's what he used to be here. Look what he's doing now. And so from there, I started networking. I did a Jumpstart mentorship program. That was another real estate diversity initiative to promote minority developers and contractors in the space. And from there, I met Sid Sheep and Gary Hobbs, who both, and Keith Rodney, who's another one. Janine Bessie. I mean, I can start naming people, man, but they just all kind of started, oh, you need to meet this person, you need to meet that person, you need to read this, you need to research this, you need to look at this video, you need to meet them for coffee. And, I just started, man, I just was going here, there, everywhere. Next thing you know, we have another event after the Jumpstart program was finished up, and I was, still a fellow. I was a 2-year fellowship, right? And I'm probably in month 6 at this point. And in month 6, we had an event where it was hosted by Scenario, which is a syndicator that basically investors and tax credits, which is following affordable housing. And Gary Hobbs was there, and Sid Sheik ended up being my mentor. He was working at the state housing finance agency, ICA. And I was basically like, look, I mean, Gary, I know he has a position over there, financial analyst position. I'm interested in development. I understand the process of development. I'm going through all these different programs and being a fellow, but I want to understand how to put a deal together from a financial standpoint. Like, how do you structure a deal, like, on paper? So that way it actually is something you can take to a bank and say, look, can you finance this deal? I can take to an equity investor and say, hey, look, institutional investor, look, retail investor, private equity firm, can you invest in this deal with X amount of dollars? And from there, I had an initial conversation with him, and I told him I was interested, and I was really passionate about it, and I'd be the best financial analyst he ever had. And he was like, yeah, let's have a conversation. So from there, we started meeting. I think we were meeting 2 times a week for like 3 weeks. I came in for an interview. I mean, it was more like a conversation than an interview. We was having a real talk about just kind of goals and real life stuff and what I saw for myself in this industry. He was like, man, look, I need you on the team. So I signed, and 8 months in my fellowship, in a 2-year fellowship, I was making the transition to actually being in development, working for now a multifamily construction and property management company, like fully vertically integrated. So I got my hands on everything. So we own and operate, I think, close to 14, 15 properties here in KD, in Fort Wayne, Gary, Anderson. Got a deal going right now in Louisville. I'm working on a deal in Michigan, Ohio, Cincinnati. So now I'm actually in the space that I always wanted to be in. It's affordable housing. It's tax credit projects where we're using the federal tax credits to generate equity and subsidize a lot of our projects. But I mean, it's opened up a whole world for me that I never thought I would be in. I just drifted, and now 2-3 years later, when I was having those initial thoughts and visions and conversations back in Atlanta, I'm actually doing it. And I've had conversations with folks like, but KB, I remember we was talking about this, and you were talking about retiring and getting into real estate, and you actually doing it. I'm like, I know, man. Somehow, some way, God always manages to just lead me down this path. He put that thought in my head of investing, finding ways to invest my money, and just being fiscally responsible and just being a good steward of my money, so that way I can kind of learn this game, so I can get stewards of other people's money. And it's just been like a life-changing experience for me, bro. A year and a month in, just working in multifamily development, bro. And just happy I get to do what I love. Like when you first talked about that with stuff, like I love this. Like I love what I do. I feel like it not only provides housing, but I get to talk on podcasts about this, and our kids will be like, "What? Section 42 tax credits, subsidized housing, and real estate investing. What is that? Like, I want to know more. I didn't know that was an option. Real estate development. What is that? All we know is real estate brokers. Every time I testify on real estate, they're like, "Oh, you're a broker?" I'm like, "No." I knew for a fact I didn't want to be a broker because everybody's a broker. Everybody's in construction. So I said, I don't want to be in construction. I want to do what nobody's doing. That's why I want to be a biomedical engineer. I'm like, engineering, everybody's a civil engineer. Everybody's I don't even know, like, I was like, nobody was in medical, like, the medical side of it. So I was like, I want to do that. And, just being a black man, like, I'm always looking to just be unique, individually. Like, I want to be something different than everybody else. I just want to be, and I want to be the best version of doing so. Hopefully, empower other young black men to be able to see me as someone they look up to. Just like, I look up to Kobe, I look up to my dad, I look up to my mom, my grandmother's like, I'm hoping, I can be that kind of role model for someone else. Just open their minds up to different career paths. Just hopefully just keep pushing our community and our community forward. And, help give our kids different options.
Yeah, because like you said, when you hear real estate, you don't hear what you do. And just you breaking it down in that short time frame of what you're able to do, that's super dope. Because I'm the same way. I like to be unique. I don't like. It's funny because people see that I'm a talker and stuff, so you have these different sets of jobs that not pyramid jobs, but somewhat like them, and they always be hitting me up. And it's like, no, I got my own path. Like I don't want to do that. Like that's for you. And I've tried a couple, trying to make some money, but I stick to what I love to do and what makes me happy. The money gonna come from what I'm doing, but it's like you gotta stick to what you love to do, and it don't gotta look like nobody else. Like I don't know none of my friends that ever was talking about being on the radio or none of that when we were younger, except for my best friend. Me and him always talked about it in the radio now in the podcast. And I've been talking about that since a little kid. And it's like it happened, but it's like you gotta just be yourself. Like a lot of people want to be like somebody else. It's like you could take like I'm a Celtics fan. I hated Kobe as a player. I hated Kobe, like I'm like no. But as I got older and I started watching his videos and his interviews, I'm like I love what his work ethic, the stuff that he's doing. So you can take stuff from other people, but do what you want to do. Like somebody, you could come and talk to our basketball team, but you play football. But if they listen to what you're saying of certain stuff that you did, then they can apply that to their life. So it's like, just do whatever you want to do. Because nowadays, you can do whatever. You could be on TikTok and cook all day or show your toes or whatever the case is. Whatever. Yeah, it's they got the OnlyFans, you show your toes and all this different stuff that you can do and be yourself. Yeah. But you just got to stay in your lane. But one thing I've heard you say throughout the whole episode is you listen to God in your faith. And that's the most important thing is to listen to what he's actually saying. Because with me, I never knew how to pray. Nobody taught me. I just seen it in church. And then as I got older and I'm praying, it's like you can pray and ask God to do something for you. But if you're not putting no action behind it or you don't have no action steps to how you going to attain it, like, God, can you give me X amount of dollars? Okay. Yeah, you got to go work your job. And the job is nothing that you want to do, but you ask God for whatever it is, and He said, "Here you go." And you don't do it, now you miss your opportunity. So it's like have that faith, but have the action behind that faith, because that's how you're gonna get to wherever you want to get to. And
it's never even specific for me, man. My prayer is always for God to lead me, guide me, talk through me, allow me to see clearly, allow me to have a clear mind, an open mind, and allow me to be empathetic about what I feel. And do what I do for the betterment of our people. And so, like, that's always my prayer, man, every morning. It's nothing even specific. It was never like, hey, I want to be real estate. God, open the door for me in real estate. I was just like, hey, lead me, God. I'm on your path. I've been on your path from day one. I never thought football would be my path. You just led me down that path. Never thought I'd be competing on a state championship level in track and field. My second year doing that, but I was on your path. Never thought I'd be, playing Division I football, but I'm on your path. So, you got me this far, playing pro, all that. Why would I second guess you now? Like, I've always just trusted you. I've always followed the lead of your people who I know you put in my life, so I'm going to continue to do that. And he's just continue to show up and show out. And I'm never going to go outside of that at all. Because, like I said, if it ain't broken, I'm fixing it. I'm going to continue to pray that prayer and just walk down this path, man. And wherever it leads me, it leads me. And hopefully it's everything I hope and dream. But at the end of the day, it's his plan. So, I'm just going to do what he tells me.
I love that. Give 3 tips to younger generation, not necessarily on making it professionally, but just making it to the next level of their life. 3 steps they can, once they hear it, they can apply it to their life and it can help them move.
Yeah, so one I would say is your work ethic. So I'm a hyper competitive guy, and having a work ethic and being hyper competitive allows me to put myself in positions where I'm always gonna try to outwork any and everybody in my field. I feel like if I'm from between 9 to 5 when I'm at work, everybody's working from 9 to 5. What are you doing outside of 9 to 5? How much time are you putting in outside of practice? How much time are you dedicating to your craft outside of the time that's allocated for you to better your craft? That's what's going to separate you from being an average guy to a top level guy. Is that work ethic, your ability to outwork the competition? Because that's who you're playing against. You're competing against all the other kids that want to go to the NBA, that want to go to the NFL, that want to be professionals in whatever industry you work in. You want to be an engineer, you want to go to medical school. You compete against all of it. And now you're talking about kids from China, kids from the Middle East, Cali, down south. You're competing against a lot. You're competing against the world, man. And in order to have the best chance of success, man, you got to outwork all of those people, man. Because I guarantee you, their parents is on their butt. And they don't care if you came from a one-parent household. They don't care what your situation is. They don't care. They're killers, man. And you got to be a killer, too, in the right way. When I say a killer, I just be having that killer mindset. So I would say work ethic for sure. I would say consistency after that, because having the work ethic and then having to be consistent is what is going to drive your foundation. That's going to be who you are. This is what I do. I'm going to show up every day and give you 110%. And I'm going to do it no matter how I feel. If I'm tired, if I didn't get anything to eat, if my mom was pissed last night and didn't cook, whatever. I don't care what the situation is. I'm going to give you 110%. I'm going all out, and I'm never going to allow someone else to outwork me. I'm going to do that every day, no matter how I feel, no matter what my temperament is. I'm going to give you 110%. So I would say work ethic, your consistency with the work that you're doing, and then I would say your faith, man. And I would say just having a higher power that you're connected to, whatever it is. You have to have something bigger than you, greater than you, a greater purpose. My greater purpose, like I said, is my walk with God. I feel like the purpose and path that He's leading me on, that He's always had. And for you, it might be something different. But you got to pray a prayer before the games. You got to pray a prayer before a test. When you're studying, before you go to school. Then you got to pray a prayer and have conversations with the man upstairs so you can center your mind, focus. And it probably ties into regular focus, having a higher power that you're connected to and that faith. You just really have to have that, I know, for a fact, to get to that upper echelon, high level in your career or in, you know, professional sports, whatever it is, man. those two things I feel like separate you from the pack. You gotta have a work ethic that's like no other. You gotta do it consistently, be consistent with everything that you do, and then you gotta be connected to a higher power. You gotta have faith, follow the path, put yourself in positions to succeed just by simply having conversations with God and trusting in His in your walk. Have faith in the position that He's putting you in. Trust in that. Don't doubt it. Just walk confidently in it. And I'm telling you, you'll look up and you'll be like, man, look, I done did great things. You know, you get to reflect back and you'll be like, man, I followed those three things. And you know, I made a name for myself. I established a life for myself, and I'm able to do more for my kids than my parents were able to do for me. So I can continue to push forward our community, our people, and allowing us to progress further and further along. So you do those three things, I feel like you'll shock yourself.
Yeah, sure. That is so true. Having work ethic, that's how I got to like just showing up to wherever I need to and giving all I got. Being consistent, I learned that being consistent, people are gonna notice you. Like having a podcast, because I've had a couple before, like a couple different ones, but when I tuned in, I was like, this is all I want. This in 2022 was just a podcast, and then I kept it going, and people notice it now. It's like you don't know when your number gonna get called, but be ready when your number called by being consistent and learning your craft. Like if you don't learn your craft or know who's the top people in your craft, or like you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna like if I'm in the podcast, man. If I didn't know who Joe Rogan was, that would just I need to leave because he's the upper echelon of where people want to be with podcasts, making money wise. I don't know necessarily. I listen to his podcast, but I don't agree with everything he always says. But he's when it comes to money, or if you know Gilly and them, or Joe Button, or different people, if you know who's in your industry, then you can go and study them, like and look and see what they're doing to help with your work ethic. But the consistency, I think that is like the most important thing. And I've learned that people tell me I'm consistent. I be like, weird. I know inside, like at home, like on certain things, I'm not consistent with the things that I necessarily need to be. But I think you can't overdo yourself of saying, I didn't do this today. Okay, you've done it for 4 out of 5, Monday through Friday. You've done it 2. You only miss 1 day. You consistent. You just gotta keep going and not look at it as trying to be a perfectionist. Because when you try to be a perfectionist, it don't work. So being consistent ain't always every day, but it needs to be almost every day. But yeah. So ask every guest. I need a quote. Underdog quote. It could be your quote. It could be a quote you saw, quote you live by, but I need a quote.
Quote, I would probably say I have my own methods. I don't know, man. I just got my own saying and stuff. I would just say, for me, it's going to be get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's something that I've said before, and I'm sure other people have said, but that's like one of the things that I live by. That's something that I remember I got early on. I received that message early on in my college career. It helps me, and it still helps me to this day. Anytime I'm going through university, because adversity usually shows you exactly what type of man or woman you are with those stressful situations. And it's how you handle those situations consistently, go back to consistency again, which is going to help mold you, shape you into the person that's going to be that finished product at a high level, doing it at a high level. So for me, it's getting comfortable in those uncomfortable situations because they're going to be there all the time. They're not going away. If you think stuff's going well, something's going to go wrong. And it's how you handle yourself in those situations that's really going to help define you as a person and shape and mold you as a human being, not even just an athlete or a businessman, woman, or entrepreneur, just as a human being. You gotta handle the good with the bad. No highs, no lows. I mean, I got them all. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable is one I would say to everybody. That's just gotta learn to to live through the grind and that grit, that mud, when you got, mud on your hands and dirt on your face. You just gotta cherish it and love it. You gotta love it just as much as you love standing on the podium with that first place medal. I love being at practice when I'm about ready to pass out on sprint number 20 and I'm ready to give up. Now, I love that just as much as I love standing on that podium, getting all of that praise. I probably like being in the dungeon more than I like being on that stage. Like I said, I don't really like the accolades. I like the grind, man. I love the grind. I think that was my ability to get comfortable with all of the uncomfortable situations that anyone's ever done. So that's my quote, man. And don't forget it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the one. That is the same quote that I would encourage everybody to do that.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, as you're talking, I think about my job. Like sometimes we get a job and it's uncomfortable, and we complain, but we don't get comfortable. We don't get comfortable with making the adjustments to the uncomfortable. Like when you're at a job and everybody around is doing all the complaining, it's uncomfortable, but you haven't figured out how to make it uncomfortable for you in that situation. You just stick with what's going on and don't overcome that adversity. And that's what I was thinking about. Like I've been in situations where it's like, it's uncomfortable, but why is it uncomfortable? Why is it uncomfortable for me? Because I haven't made the adjustments. I haven't paid attention to what's going on with the surroundings. So that kind of helped me out.
But I can say this, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Being comfortable for me was when I was getting recruited, not wanting to go to any other school because I told myself I wanted to play safe. But being uncomfortable is being able to play a different position every year, no matter what, and take that challenge on. And I'm saying I can do whatever you need me to do, I should do it. Yeah. I'm uncomfortable every time you make me have to learn a new position because now I feel like I'm at a disadvantage from my other teammates that are playing that position and have played that position already. But the fact that you put me in that position lets me know that I can handle it. Because you know the type of person I am. Yeah. And I can handle anything. Anything you throw at me, I'm going to just take it and I'm going to run with it. And then you're like, dang, I don't know if there's something KB can't do. Yeah. He's going to try to figure it out. He may not be the best at it, but he can do it. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's just don't give up. Don't just settle just because it's safe and warm and cozy and mommy's here. No, man. Get out there. Do something. Be great. Don't be afraid to fail. Be great. Be comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. Always. It's okay. It just means you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and you're getting better.
Yeah. What you said, love the grind. I don't think people love the grind enough to get to where they want to be or where they see other people at. Because everybody don't show the grind. The grind's not really recorded. The hardships, the bull crap you go through, money, funny, lose a job, somebody in family sick, those type of things where you gotta keep going isn't recorded. So you just gotta keep going. Because if the day you stop, the next day could have been the day you made your break, but you stopped. So just keep going. That grind is ugly. It's color purple ugly. It's not sexy at all, but it can be because that's how you build who you are as a person. That's how you overcome a lot of things. I look at it as the grind of this podcast. Anything after this, bring it on. I done dealt with everything that came with this. It's been days where I'm like, man, I'm good. I'll figure something else out. But then it's no, this is what you want to do. This is what you said you was going to do. So you got to do it even when, Inky Johnson, he said, got to do it even when you don't feel it. Because a lot of times we start something new, we get high on it, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. And life punch you. And then you're like, I don't really want to do it. You got to let that grind. Because when you master the grind, nothing can stop it.
I'm turned back.
Yeah.
You give me that leap. Oh, I'm awake now.
Yeah.
That's what I love that.
Yeah. That's how, with basketball. If me and you they told you to post me up, oh yeah, come on. You think it's sweet. It ain't nothing sweet down here. I love that. I love the content. I love, you think it's bigger than me?
It ain't gotta be sweet. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You about to get this work. And it don't matter.
Yeah.
You can think it ain't sweet. Yeah. But I'm here. You about to feel it. You about to get this work.
What side? It don't matter. anything. I told my son that yesterday. I was like, man, you got to figure out what you can do by being little. Like, we get it, you little, but you got to be able to figure out how to dominate by being little. So you got to figure out some new stuff. I keep telling you, you got to get strong, bro. We skinny. Listen, I never worked out. I wasn't a gym person. I just got whatever God gave me. Now I run and stuff like that, but I'm like, you got to get stronger because, like you said, somebody bump you. Oh yeah, that's what we on. Okay, but I'm coming back down, and once you figure out what you need to do, just go do it and make that adjustment. Man, I appreciate you coming on. I learned a lot just from actually to help me be more of a better parent, a better dad, especially with sports. One last question before I wrap it up. Was your dad ever your coach? No. Okay, so he never. Okay.
If anything, he was a loud, rambunctious parent.
Yeah.
Not to be loud.
Yeah.
Just watch.
No, it's not. Listen, as a parent, you can't. You can't
yell. Don't say that ain't what we worked on. You know, yell all that stuff. Just let me play.
No, it's funny because of my son and mom. Basketball was never really, our daughter never did that. So now she's into it, and now she like seeing, oh, these parents is crazy. But then now you see her, woo, and all that. You can't help it when you see your child out there. Now, when I ain't coaching him, then I gotta.
We're really now.
Yeah, I gotta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let him play, and then coach him up after.
Yeah.
Record it. I don't know if that got filmed. Record it, and then the next day or the day after, pull it up and watch it. So that's when you walk through. Pause it. Look at that. You know better than that. That's when you get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start recording full games of him and to show them that. Look, like I do record. I don't try to just always keep the mates. I try to be like, look at this. Or so he got a video. He trains, right? So he's running around like coming off a pick. I'm like, bro, what was you doing? He was running slow as all get up. Right. I'm like, when you train and you practice, you gotta treat it like a game. I'm like, you just running like this, you ain't gonna be able to get past nobody. And he was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I need to show him what I'm saying so he can understand that I'm not making it up. Because in my mind, I can watch a whole game and I can remember every play he's done. And I can picture it. Yeah.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're telling him something, but he's doing it. Yeah. He needs to be able to sit down with you and y'all look at it at the same time. Yeah. And you can point directly at it and he can look at it like, look at that. That's exactly what you just did. You put that on tape. Yeah. Don't do that anymore. You know better.
Yep. You're right. Yep. But I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you did because you got the real estate with the affordable housing and stuff. And that's very helpful to people anywhere, not just here, all the different states that you got it in. And like your faith, I think throughout the whole episode, people gonna get that. Like you gotta have some type of faith in your life. And as a parent, I think people gonna learn from just what you said about your dad and understanding that and having that plan or being able to make the executive decision like, hey, this ain't it. I keep it a buck with you. And always keep it a buck with your kids. I think that's one thing that parents should learn from this. I was thinking of different titles. I don't know. I think it's something to do with dad or parent. Some parents don't understand. I might be parents do understand. Like, because people they'll get that. But appreciate everything you did. I know we were supposed to have this. It's you and another guy. Our schedule's been busy and all that and stuff just happened. I'm glad we did. It's crazy. I ran into you yesterday here. So appreciate you. Episode will be out. It's gonna be out this week. So I have everything. Start tagging you. I'm about to go edit it after this. Give us a final little say so. I'm trying to not to say closing word because that sounds like the church. Give us a word. Close us out with something. Let me get up out of here.
Yeah, man. To close up, I'll just say, I just gotta reiterate, man. Like I wouldn't be anywhere the man that I am today, and all the success when I look back, and I feel like I've been so blessed. I wouldn't be anywhere without all of the great people that have had a hand in the different phases of my life, my childhood, to my young adulthood, to now, blossoming in this whole real estate industry. And I got so many people that have been a huge influence in my life, and it takes those type of people seeing greatness in you, and then also believing in yourself in order to kind of make that happen. Those things have to happen synonymously, like together. So I have so many people that I would need to thank. They know who they are, and I kind of mentioned names along the way. Just kind of having some hard conversation, but just keep developing relationships, network, and you never know who you'll need and who you'll meet, and they see something in you, like that CEO or somebody's parent or anything, man, or me, or whoever it is, man. You just never know. So be good to people, be kind, just talk to people with respect, and develop relationships. Just genuinely and see where it goes. I owe a lot of my success to the great people that have been in my life. So that's my wrapping up word. Network, meet people, don't get comfortable doing the same thing over and over. Get comfortable in your uncomfortable spaces. And watch the podcast. It's the best podcast. So Underdog.
People they can reach you to.
Yeah, and you can reach me on Instagram at kbrown_317. On Twitter at kbrown_317. I'm on YouTube as well, but I'm not really that active. But Kevin Brown the second, and I got some highlight tapes if you ever want to check the tape and see if I don't really like that or not. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, Big Dog, having me on. This is a great platform that you created to be able to allow people to share their stories and their journeys, and you do an excellent job of during that conversation, and I'm excited to see where this kind of takes you, because I'm sure you won't be in this room forever. Yeah. But as you continue to evolve and grow, I just love that I get to be a part of that foundational piece. We're having these conversations now. It'll just be fun 10 years from now to see where we're going. But yeah, man, I had a conversation. I might have a podcast episode on YouTube somewhere with this guy. Yeah. So that'll be dope, bro. When we look back and just be able to I'm looking forward to all your continued success. Appreciate you wrapping up. Always a problem.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I look at some of the guests that I've had on, and I'm like, man, they doing their thing. I got them too early. I need to see if they can come back on, because they career it's two people. I'm gonna shout them out, Olivia West and the Polish thing. I think maybe 2 or 3 months ago, both of them. And just the success I've seen them, gotta shout them ladies out. They everywhere, they doing it. So yeah, I like that. Like there's some people that I'm gonna have to have them back on because they're gonna be at a different spot. So I appreciate that. On that note, keep being great.
All right.